Recovery Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abbasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic, and I am a stroke survivor. Today, I wanted to talk to you about listening to the sound of silence. So, I did have a evidence bag moment today, so I thought I would mention that to you. And that is that I went to my meeting this morning and what were we talking about? We were talking about the 11th step. And I don't recall, I don't know. I guess the conversation was about silence. Meditation is probably where that came from. But in my head, like I started writing down notes in my Remarkable tablet about silence, about listening to silence. Somebody said um, how all of these ideas happen in the shower. Like the shower is a great place for meditation. And there was an individual who always used to talk about his great ideas that came in the shower. And I thought, oh, I'm really excited. I'm taking a shower this evening, and I'm going to see what I think about. So I had taken some more notes about how I guess what silence means to me, like it's like I never used to be able to really hear silence, and now I can, that kind of thing. Anyway, so I had written all this stuff down about listening to the sound of silence. And then later in the day, I had proof of it because it was in my Remarkable tablet. And later in the day, I guess later in the morning, my husband and I were sitting downstairs and we were talking about random stuff, and he started talking about music. And one of my friends said that her and her husband were going on a little like excursion to go see waterfalls. So they went to go see like 4 waterfalls this weekend, and they were going to take pictures and they were going to get them framed and put them on their wall. And I thought, oh, that was a really good idea. So I shared that with him. So he's hilarious and sent me the song by, I think it's TLC, Waterfalls. Don't go chasing waterfalls. And he's like, you need to send this to her. So I sent that to her, and it was funny. But then I had an earworm, and I had that song like stuck in my head, and it was driving me crazy. So he said, he gave me like 3 songs and said, you should listen to one of these and get one of these stuck in your head. And one of them was Sound of Silence by Disturbed. And so that one we actually listened to, like he turned it on and listened to it. And let me just tell you, if you get nothing else from this episode, go out and find the Sound of Silence by Disturbed. And there is an album version, and there's a live version that he did on the Conan O'Brien show. And it is astounding, astounding. I can't talk it up. I can't talk it up enough. So I thought I would do something unusual for this podcast episode. I'm really into poetry, and my eyes are hurting, sorry, so I'm just shutting my eyes. But I'm really into poetry. I'm really into song lyrics. So when I listen to songs, I'm listening to the lyrics. Of course, I'm listening to the music as well, but to me, it is poetry. That's what I hear when I hear music. I hear poetry. Um, and when my husband listens to music, he hears the instruments. He hears how they all work together. He hears like I don't know. I can't articulate what he hears as well as he probably could, but he's more focused on the instruments. I'm more focused on the voice and the lyrics and how that plays into the music. So I pulled up the lyrics to Sound of Silence and I'm going to read them because it's beautiful. So I'm going to do that first. And then next, I'm going to just talk a little bit about why we come up with ideas in the shower and a little bit more of that. So here we go. So this is the lyrics to Sound of Silence. And this has been done and redone by so many different people over the years. But the one that I pulled up specifically is by Disturbed. Again, The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. You have to get it and listen to it. Okay, so here are the lyrics to the song. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams, I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone. 'Neath the halo of a street lamp, I turned my collar to the cold and damp. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light, I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking. People hearing without listening. People writing songs that voices never shared, and no one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fools, said I, you don't know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops, fell and echoed in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made, and the sound flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. Then the sign said, the words on the prophet are written on the subway walls in tenement halls and whispered in the sound of silence. And there you have it. It's poetry. I love it. So I'm just going to say it one more time. The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. Listen to it. His voice is like opera. Like Disturbed does not typically sound like this. He usually sings some songs that are a bit more chaotic and awesome, but this is just absolutely beautiful to me. So listening to and sitting in silence, how can this practice help us in recovery and bring a little more clarity and peace into our lives? So I want to share about my experience with learning how to hear silence and then listen to it over that roar of my thoughts in my head that I've talked about over the past couple days. And how I really feel that I talk a lot about Rachel version 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. And so we're in Rachel 3.0. I'm talking a bit quieter because I think my husband has gone to sleep. So hopefully I set up my microphone a little differently. So hopefully it works. We'll see. I'll listen to it back afterwards. Rest assured. Okay, so Rachel 3.0, I feel like gets the opportunity to enjoy so much more silence. It's a gift. Um, have you ever thought about where you get your best ideas? A lot of people get them in the shower. And I was trying to think of like, where else do I get my best ideas? And I know that when I am falling asleep at night, that's the time when I get my best ideas. And what else? When I'm drinking my coffee in the morning, there are moments where I have set aside time to do nothing but one thing. So, taking a shower, I'm doing nothing but taking a shower. And that is a forced mindfulness situation. Um, Believe me, if I could do something else in the shower, I probably would because that's what I do. That's how I live. There are times that I may or may not listen to books in the shower. It's a little difficult to hear them over the shower. I turn them up really loud. But I do like to not disturb my shower with anything but taking a shower because it's one of the few times, right, that we aren't disturbed and we are just in a tiny little box by ourselves. And in addition to not having any distractions, it's the sound of running water acts as white noise, and it's laying down an additional blockage to the external world, like allowing our minds to just travel within that space. And in that environment, our brains have the ability to work harder on itself rather than making new connections, generating creative ideas without the usual interruptions. Because what I've noticed for sure in my recovery is that when I'm doing even the smallest things, especially when I'm having my symptoms, even the smallest things interrupt my brain from being able to multitask. And for those of you who do not have a brain injury, have not had a stroke, you you really it's hard to identify or notice that there are things that we do that are multitasking that are just so simple. They don't even feel like multitasking. But when my symptoms are, activated because triggered by something, the smallest thing like holding something in my hands, holding my AirPods in my hand, and I don't know, I'm trying to think of something because I'm multitasking. See that? I am multitasking. So we'll say holding these in my hand and trying to keep my train of thought. I can't do that. Um, so if because I'm trying to explain to you what's happening, I hope that made sense. But when we're in the shower, it's so ingrained in us, the order in which we do things, that we just kind of go through it. And it allows us to free ourselves, free our minds up to generate creative ideas. I don't know about you, but this is how I take a shower. Here is a trip into the world of Rachel's shower. I go from head to toe. So I start by washing my face, and then I wash my hair, and then I condition my hair, and then I wash my neck, and then I wash my back and so I actually wash from the top down. I don't know if other people do that, but I end by shaving my legs in the end. So that'd be interesting to know if everybody else does that. It works from the top down, or if there are people that come in there and they're like, okay, I'm going to do the right side of me, and then I'm going to clean the left side of me. That would be bizarre, but maybe everybody else does that, and I'm the only one who works from the top down. Anyway, it's so ingrained in me that that's what I do. And once in a blue moon, I will, if I am too caught up in whatever I'm thinking, like I'm stressed about something, I will actually do something out of order in the shower. And it feels really, really weird. I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what I usually do. So, anyway, a trip into the shower. Okay. So, this is what Chatty McChatterton told me. He said that this phenomenon where our brains make new connections and generate creative ideas without those usual daily interruptions in our environment, this phenomenon is linked to something called default mode network, or DMN, in our brains. So when we're not focused on a specific task, the default mode network becomes active, and it allows our minds to enter a state of relaxed alertness. So I had never heard of that before. And in this state, we are more likely to have those aha moments and come up with um, innovative solutions to problems. So I thought that was really interesting. Check your facts, because that was from Chatty McChatterton. So sitting and listening to silence alone, like when I'm just drinking my coffee, which I'll do in different settings. And sometimes I'll do it and find that this really isn't working for me where I'm sitting and drinking my coffee. So maybe I'll go in the living room one morning and drink my coffee, and there's like too much happening, like the dishwasher's running or something like that. It doesn't allow me to enter into that, I guess, into default mode network. I don't know, but it's not giving me that same feeling of a relaxed, a state of relaxed alertness. Um, so for many years, and I've talked about this over recent days, for many years, I I just had such a roar of thoughts in my head that I don't think I truly could hear silence. I don't know that I could shut it all down like I can now. And it took me a couple years to be able to shut it down. And my mind was just always racing. I was always worried about something. I was always regretting something, or criticizing myself for something, or being angry about something. It was really exhausting. It was a lot of my energy was spent just in my head. It was generating this enormous amount of thoughts. And and it never even crossed my mind, I don't think, to hear silence. I don't, it's, you don't miss what you don't have, or you don't miss what you've never experienced. Um, what I do know is that I drank to shut that stuff down, to try to shut it down. It didn't work. The thing is, I was shutting it down in an unnatural way so that when I sobered up, it came back again, and it was usually even louder than it was prior to that. So in recovery and sobriety, I've really learned how to get comfortable in silence. I think I've talked to you guys about the mentor that I had at my last job, and he used to talk to me about how important it is to leverage silence, to learn how to get comfortable in silence, and how to learn how to not feel like you have to fill in the silence with words. Um, Learn how to sit quietly. And it really has saved so many um, awkward situations for me where I was not awkward feeling, and I could tell other people were. And if I would stop and not feel like I needed to fill the silence with words, the other person always did, always. So it can be a little silence experiment. So I was going to say science experiment, so we'll call it a silence experiment. Um, Go somewhere, be around, like go through your daily life. And when you're itching to say something, when you normally would fill the silence, fight it. It's fun. Fight it and see if you can just not say anything, or wait a beat, an unnatural beat before you say something in any situation. It's pretty fun, and new things happen. Yeah, just listen. At first it's uncomfortable, but and it's a bit intimidating, but gradually you'll begin to start being comfortable with it, and you'll begin to see that silence is not empty. Silence is not hollow. It is full of potential. It's full of answers, solutions, positivity. Um, and I have been enjoying the second half of my life this way. Um, there's there's really this, I feel like since I got sober, there's been this side of me, or this um I let's see, I told you that when you start drinking, you stop growing. So when you stop drinking, you pick up where you left off. Well, there's this part of me, I guess it's that part of me that looks back at the child within me and wants to take care of her. Well, it's like that same part of me is the one who tells all those other thoughts to just shut the hell up, and listen to the silence. It's like that voice is my inner guide now. And it's the part of me that knows what I need, and it helps me to navigate through the noise and shut the noise down when I need to. By regularly finding time to sit in silence, I feel like I just continue to invite that feeling of serenity in, and getting to know what it's like to feel serene, to feel like there's nothing that I have to do right now. I can sit here. I can just reflect. I can just feel. I don't have to make anything different than what it is in this very moment. And when I do that, I am connecting with my true self. That's the real quiet me in there. Um, and it helps me to reconnect, stay grounded with the truth about who I am, and the truth in all of those invisible illnesses that sometimes I need to be reminded that I have. All of my quirks in sobriety, we call them character defects, and be able to center myself and be comfortable with me, be comfortable in my own skin and in daily life throughout the day. So think about how you incorporate silence into your life and how you might be able to tap into its benefits. You can take more showers. That'll be nice for everybody. But a few ways to set aside some time for silence is to find a quiet place, whether you work from home, you work out of home, wherever, find a quiet place to sit undisturbed for just a few minutes, like 3 minutes, or a minute. You can start with just a minute and gradually increase that time as you start to become more comfortable with the practice. Mindfulness and meditation can help you, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to feel like, now we're going to start meditating again. If you don't want to meditate, you're not a meditating type of person. I would encourage you to try it anyway, but you can just sit in silence and not meditate. But guess what? The longer you do it and the longer you start getting comfortable with yourself like that, um, guess what? You're meditating. That's what that is, really. Um, just sit and observe your thoughts. Let them go in and out, let them pass like clouds in the sky. Um, Make sure you turn off your devices, stop things from dinging and jiggling and all kinds of stuff, and allow yourself to just be completely present with yourself. And it can be outside, it can be inside, you can be walking. Try to, do something, go for a walk, drink your coffee, take a shower, do something simple, and don't listen to music. Don't text, don't do anything but the thing that you're doing, and do it in quiet. And eventually, you might start hearing things that you didn't hear before. I was sitting outside this morning when I was drinking my coffee, and I was listening to my morning meeting. And I swear when I first went out there in the morning, I didn't hear any birds, but I wasn't listening for them either. I was listening to my meeting. And towards the end of the meeting, when there were moments of silence, when somebody wasn't volunteering to share, all of a sudden I heard the birds outside. And I guarantee you the birds were there the whole time. I just didn't hear them because it wasn't silent. So I think um, I think embracing silence and making it a part of your life, regularly, a part of your day, you really can find a greater peace, a deeper peace, I think. You might work out some things that you weren't able to work out before. I have lots of projects, you guys know, and there are times that I'm at my best trying to think of what I'm going to do for my project. So the maple syrup bottle that I've been telling you about, it's still going. So I have my stones in the bottom, and now I have my charcoal in the bottom, and that's supposed to take the, like, do the pH level or whatever, once I put the moss in there. So Autumn and I went down to the creek and we got some moss, some real live moss down there. And I got a big, gigantic mosquito bite that I swear has like West Nile virus or bird flu in it because it was gigantic. Anyway, I used my venom extractor. Let me just get that for those of you who are new to the episode. Or to the podcast, there's something called a venom extractor. And if you're looking at the video, I'm showing it on the screen. And this is my best friend in the summertime. Looks like a little syringe thing, but it's just a little hole. And you stick the little plastic end on there, and then you pull it open, and wherever you have a mosquito bite, you push it and you close the syringe like that, and then it sucks the mosquito bite up into the thingy, and it actually sucks the venom out of the mosquito bite. It really does work. I'm telling you, it really works. And so I came back from my terrarium foraging adventure with Autumn, and I had a mosquito bite. No lie, it was the size of a quarter on my leg. And so I came inside and I got my venom extractor, and I got this big, huge tip, and I put it on my leg and I suctioned my leg and I left it on there for like 5 minutes. You're only supposed to really leave it on. You need to leave it on for it says 10 seconds, but I always leave it on for a couple minutes. And it was all swollen before I used the venom extractor. And after I used the venom extractor, it didn't even look like it was there anymore. It's fascinating. I'm telling you, it works. Venom extractor. It's green, comes in a little kit with 3 tips like that. So I might need to tag venom extractor people because I just did a product review. It's awesome. Okay. So yeah, let's see. What was I talking about? So the best time that I come up with these ideas to help me with things like my maple syrup bottle that I'm making a terrarium in is right before I go to bed, when I'm drinking my coffee, or this evening when I was in the shower. I was thinking about how I was going to plan the whole thing. What I need to be thinking about is my book that I'm writing, but I keep straying away by doing things like making a terrarium. But that's okay. I can do whatever I want. Okay. That's all I have for you today. So try to add some silence into your life. Make it a regular practice and see if you can start transforming your inner world a little bit and make life a little easier. And I bet you will. It feels a lot more peaceful when I have more moments of silence in my day. And let's not forget, go listen to Sound of Silence by Disturbed. That's an order. Thank you for listening today to the Recovery Daily podcast, and I will talk to you